What's going on, everybody out there in the YouTube trucker community? Sean Cahalan, Christian Brother Trucker, coming at you again with another video today. And I've been talking about doing this video that I'm going to do today for a long time, and that's chaining. So I've got a set of chains here. I'm going to show you how to put them on and show you how to orientate them to make sure that you're putting them on correctly, and cover some basic do's and don'ts about chaining. If you do any research on chain requirements in the Northwest or any of the states in the nation, you'll know that if you put on, basically follow the advice that I'm going to give you on how many chains to put on, you will be legal in any state in the United States. You want to run 6 sets of singles. If what you have is single rail or set of singles, they make 2 different sets. One is called a set of singles, and then you have what's called triple rail, which will go over both tires. Chains that we're using today are 1 pair of singles. So you will need a total of 6 of these chains. You will do the outside tire on both drive positions, and then you will do the back axle on the trailer for, it's called the drag set. It's called drag chains. And those help to maintain control over the trailer when it's coming around the corner so that it doesn't go into a jackknife. So, first of all, when do you need chains? A lot of drivers out there will say, I don't need to carry chains, I don't ever plan on needing to pull my chains out, so on and so forth. If I have to pull chains and I have to put them on the truck, I'm just not going to drive. So how many of you have been out on the road and have gone into instantly changing weather conditions? You could be at the base of Denver, Colorado, and you check the weather and everything looks good. You get halfway into your day, you get halfway up the mountain, and you get to the top and it's snowing. It only takes about 1 inch of snow in order to create ice on the road. And if those chain lights come on and you're on the road and you get caught without chains on your truck, you cannot get to a safe place to park without stopping, putting your chains on to get to a safe location. You cannot just pull over on the side of the road. So a lot of times you need to know how to put the chains on in case you get caught unawares, so that you can throw the chains on to get yourself to a safe location to get off the road. So just because you think that you won't ever have to put chains on, you may find yourself in a situation where you will have to put chains on. So just keep in mind, pull the chains out to get yourself out of trouble, get you to a safe location, and then you can shut down. But you at least have to know how to put chains on, because if you're on a highway and the chain lights come on, you have to put chains on or you'll get a ticket. First thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check your truck and make sure that you have proper chains. You pull the chains out and inspect them for broken cross links and make sure that you don't have any damage to the chains. If the cross links are broke, then you need to leave those at the yard to get replacements. And find 6 sets of chains that are identical and that are all in operating condition with no broken cross links. It's a good idea to get them out once a year to inspect them to make sure that nothing is broken. To make sure that all your chains are there. Alright, so the first step is you're going to spread the chains out, you're going to stretch them out and straighten them up. If you look very closely, you can see the way that these chains are designed. These cross links go into these end links on these end chains here, and these are called cams. So these have to go on in a specific position and have to be orientated a certain way in order for these to be installed correctly. So the first thing that you want to know is these are called dogs. That's what we call them in the trucking industry. And so your cams have to be out and your dogs have to be out. If these are facing into the tire, these can chew into your rubber and these can damage your tires. So just remember, cams out, dogs out. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if I was to throw these on like this with the dogs facing down, and I was to pick this up and put it on the tire, my dogs would be facing in and not out, so they would be digging into the rubber. So I'm going to need to flip these around in order for these to be in the correct position. All right, so now if you look closely, you can see that the dogs are out and all the cams are out. Want to make sure that there's not any twists or anything else like that before you go and throw them on. If you were to go to the other side of the truck, these would be flipped around the other way. So just make sure that your cams are out and your dogs are facing out. Make sure all your cams are open. That cam is in the closed position, this is in the open position. The first step is to throw these on the tires. And you want to make sure that it's centered over the tire, as center as you can get it. And then what you're going to do is you have two ends on the chain down here. So what you want to do is you want to angle that out so that you can roll the truck forward. So once you lay all the chains onto your tractor, what you're going to do is you're going to tuck in the end that you're going to roll onto. Meaning if I'm going to roll the truck forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to position these end links so that when I roll this truck forward, these end links are going to be free and I'll be able to access them. Okay, so I just did one. So imagine if you're going to do 6, this is what you're going to do with all 6 chains. You're going to throw all your chains onto the tire and you're going to center it up, and then you're going to leave your chain ends out so that when you roll the truck forward, you'll be able to get to all your chain ends. So I'm going to get in the truck and I'm going to roll it forward, and I'm going to show you what the next step is after you get the chains on the tires. Looks like I didn't go forward enough, so I'm going to pull it a little bit more. Alright, so you want to roll the truck forward enough so that you can get to both of these side links on the sides here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start on the inside. Now you're going to find the best camera position here, because what you want to do... Your hooks will always go out along with your dogs. So the dogs go out, the cams go out, and your hooks go out. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull very firmly on this, and you're going to grab the last link that you can grab. So I was able to grab the second link. I'm going to see if I can grab one more link up so that this is as tight as I could possibly get it before I tighten my cams. So I was able to link up one more. This is critical. This is like 90% of struggling with chains is going to involve this inner link right here. You want to get this as tight as you can get it on the very last link that you can grab. And if you link onto link number 3 on this one, you're going to want to go link number 3 on this side. Link 3, link 3. After that's done, you just want to make sure that everything is centered. And then you tighten the cams. On brand new chains, they may need to be tightened and then loosened a couple of times. So I can tell you right now that that's not going to be tight as soon as I run on this a couple of times. So I'm going to loosen this up and I'm going to see if I can grab another link. So in here where I grabbed the third link, I'm going to try to grab the link number 4. So as you can tell, I wasn't able to get the fourth one on the inside. So I went ahead and grabbed the fourth one on this side and the third one on this side. When chains are brand new, they need to be worn in a little bit. So after you run on this for a while, the next time you put them on, you should be able to go to link number 4. I pulled on this and pulled on this and tried to get link number 4, but it's just not going to go. Okay, so a lot of times you might not be able to get all of these cams tightened. You want to get at least 3, and if you're not able to get all of the cams tightened into the lock position, that's fine. You just want to make sure that you've got these cams as tight as you can get them. That way they're not going to come loose on you when you drive down the road. If all your cams are not tight, you're going to run for a while, they're going to loosen up, they're going to start slopping, and they're going to start flapping everywhere. It's a good idea to pull over after a mile or so, after these chains set in on the tire, and then to see if you can't relink these. But as long as they're tight when you first put them on, you shouldn't have to stop and relink these and retighten them. They should be able to go just fine. If you have a lot of problems with getting these tight, you can buy the spider bungees at truck stops, and you've probably seen those where they're like a bungee cord, but they have about 6 or 7 arms on them that you can grab these and pull these down tight. So this is pretty much how to put chains on. It's pretty simple. Dogs go out, cams go out, hooks go out. As long as you follow this process, you won't damage your tires. If you run the hooks in, they can dig into your sidewall. If these dogs go inside, they can dig into your sidewalls. And of course, if these cams are on the inside, you can't tighten the chains down. So immediately you'll know. One of the most common problems that people will run into is they'll run these upside down with the cams on the outside, and it'll damage your brand new tires. You take a couple of extra seconds to make sure you orientate these properly. You'll be able to get a lot of use out of these chains, and it won't damage your equipment. If these come loose, they can come around and they can start banging up on your wheel wells. They can destroy this plastic here. So you might be wondering how fast you can go with chains on. I think the recommendation is 35. I've gone a little faster. Just kind of depends on how well you put them on and how much snow is on the ground. So if you have a lot of snow on the ground, you're going to have a lot of cushion. So generally you can go a little bit faster, but I'm going to say 35 is about the maximum speed. Remember, it's just about getting yourself off the road. You don't want to run with these for an extended period of time, because they will chunk your rubber, ruin your tires, and ultimately it will destroy your chains. They don't last forever. They're tough, but they're not made for extended periods of time to be ran all the time. They do make more heavier duty chains for more industrial applications where you may need them for extended periods of time or running all day long, but these are not those kind of chains. These are more of the cheaper style, just to get you off the road and into a safe location. So that pretty much covers it. When you go to take these off, it's just simply to undo the cams. They'll pop right off. Undo the chain hooks. And then of course, you gotta undo all your chains, and then if you pull them all out to the side like that, you just pull up a little ways, or you can back up and you'll be able to get them out from underneath the tires. Another couple of things to consider with driving in the wintertime and the possibility of having the chain is to bring a little tarp with you. And when I mean a little tarp, I mean a little 4x8 little tarp that you can carry, and you can unfold that and put it on the ground so that you're not kneeling down into the snow and slush and getting your pants all soaked and everything else. The biggest challenge that you'll run into with chains is hooking that inside chain link on that rail. That's always going to be the toughest part of installing chains, is to make sure that inside rail link is as tight as you can get it. And if you get it on link number 2 on the one side and you can go to link number 3, that's not the best, but it'll get you through. And you just want to make sure that you get your cams as tight as you can get them. The tighter you can get them, the better off the chains will ride, and the less damage they'll cause to your equipment. When you put them all on, you'll need to stop after a little while to double check and make sure that they're all tight, and possibly link them up one more link if you can. Depending on if you need to run for an extended period of time. So like if you're going over the Colorado Rockies, you've got, you know, 30 miles, 20 to 30 miles to get all the way to the bottom of the Colorado Rockies. So you may have to run with them on for quite a while before you find a safe place to park. If you're going to have to run that far, you'll want to find a place to pull over after a mile or two, just to double check everything and make sure all your chains are as tight as they can be. So that's going to cover it. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe and share. And as always, thanks for watching, and God bless you all.